The divorce papers lay on the table like a cold verdict. Maya stared at them for a long time, her hands trembling slightly. The ink was still fresh, but the love that once filled her marriage had dried up years ago. Her husband, Armin, leaned back in his chair, looking relieved rather than sad. "It's better this way," he said flatly. "We both deserve freedom." Maya didn't argue. She had learned that arguing with him was like shouting into an empty room. He had already moved on long before the divorce was finalized. Everyone in the neighborhood knew about the younger woman. He had been seeing for months. Still, the finality of the moment felt like a blade slicing through her heart. 7 years of marriage reduced to a few sheets of paper. 7 years of cooking his favorite meals. Waiting up late for him, believing his promises. She signed the last page, placed the pen down, and stood up. No tears. No shouting. No dramatic farewell. Just silence. Armin looked surprised. "That's it. You're not going to say anything?" Maya shook her head. "There's nothing left to say." She picked up her small suitcase, the only thing she owned now, and walked out of the house she once called home. The sky was grey, as if it too carried the weight of her sadness. A soft wind brushed against her face, and for a moment, she felt like a leaf blown away from its branch. She walked slowly down the street, not knowing where to go. She had no family nearby, no close friends, and no job. Armin had insisted she quit her work after their marriage, promising to take care of everything. Now, she had nothing. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a message from Armin. "Take care of yourself." That was all. No apology. No gratitude. No regret. Maya turned off her phone. She didn't want to read anything else. As she reached the end of the street, a sleek black car pulled up beside her. It was the kind of car she had only seen in magazines. Shiny, expensive, and completely out of place in the quiet neighborhood. The window rolled down slowly. A man in a dark suit looked at her gently. "Ms. Maya." She frowned. "Yes." "Please, get in. Mr. Rahman sent me." Her heart skipped a beat. "Mr. Rahman." The driver nodded respectfully. "He asked me to bring you to him right after the divorce." Maya's confusion grew. She didn't know any. Mr. Rahman. And why would someone send such an expensive car for her? "I think you have the wrong person," she said softly. The driver smiled. "No, we've been instructed to wait for you here. Please, don't worry. Everything will be explained." Maya hesitated. The street behind her led to a past she couldn't return to. The road ahead was unknown. After a long moment, she opened the door and sat inside the car. The leather seats were soft and warm, a stark contrast to the cold feeling in her chest. As the car drove away, she glanced back at the house one last time. No one stood at the door. No one watched her leave. It felt as though she had never lived there at all. She swallowed hard, holding back the tears that threatened to fall. She didn't know it yet, but her life was about to change in ways she could never have imagined. The car moved smoothly through the city streets, its quiet engine almost soothing. Maya sat stiffly in the back seat, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. "Where are we going?" she finally asked. "To Mr. Rahman's residence," the driver replied politely. Maya nodded, though the answer didn't help much. Her mind raced with questions. Who was this man? Why did he want to see her? And how did he know about her divorce? After about 20 minutes, the car turned into a long driveway lined with tall palm trees. At the end stood a massive mansion, glowing softly in the evening light. Maya's eyes widened. She had never seen a house like this in real life. It looked more like a palace. The car stopped in front of the grand entrance. The driver stepped out and opened her door. "Please, follow me." Her heart pounded as she walked inside. The floors were made of shining marble, and crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Everything felt unreal, like she had stepped into someone else's dream. Then she saw him. A tall man in his early 30s stood near the staircase. He wore a simple white shirt and dark trousers, but there was something calm and powerful about him. His eyes softened the moment he saw her. "Maya," he said quietly. She froze. That voice. It felt familiar. "Do I know you?" she asked, her voice trembling. He smiled gently. "You may not remember me, But I'll never forget you. Her confusion deepened. My name is Daniel Rahman, he continued. 10 years ago, you helped a boy who was injured outside your college. Maya's eyes widened as the memory returned. A rainy afternoon. A boy with torn clothes and a bleeding arm. She had taken him to the clinic, paid for his treatment, and stayed with him until his brother arrived. You were that boy. She whispered. He nodded. I was poor, lost, and alone. You didn't know me, but you treated me with kindness. That moment changed my life. Maya felt her throat tighten. She had almost forgotten about that day. To her, it was just a small act of compassion. But why did you send a car for me? She asked. Daniel's expression grew serious. Because I promised myself that if I ever succeeded in life, I would repay the kindness you showed me. I've been searching for you for years. Maya stared at him, stunned. And today, he continued softly, I learned about your divorce. She looked down, embarrassed. It's nothing. Just a failed marriage. It's not nothing, he said firmly. No one who shows the world so much kindness deserves to be left alone. Tears finally slipped down her cheeks. Not because of the divorce, but because, for the first time in years, someone cared. Daniel stepped closer, his voice gentle. You don't have to worry anymore. You're safe here. For the first time that day, Maya felt a small spark of warmth in her heart. The next morning, Maya woke up in a room larger than her old apartment. Sunlight streamed through the tall windows, painting the walls with a golden glow. For a moment, she thought it was all a dream. But the soft bed, the fresh scent of flowers, and the gentle knock on the door told her it was real. A housemaid entered with a tray of breakfast. Mr. Rahman asked me to bring this to you. Maya sat up slowly. She wasn't used to this kind of treatment. When she went downstairs, Daniel was waiting in the dining room. Good morning, he said with a warm smile. Good morning, she replied shyly. They ate breakfast together. And for the first time in years, Maya didn't feel tense at the table. Daniel listened to her, asked about her interests, and never once made her feel small. I want to help you start over, he said, but not by giving you everything. I want to help you build your own life. Maya looked at him with gratitude. That's all I've ever wanted. Within days, Daniel arranged a job for her at one of his companies. Not as a charity, but as an assistant manager, based on her education and skills. The first day at work, Maya felt nervous. But as the hours passed, she realized she still had confidence, intelligence, and strength inside her. It had just been buried under years of emotional neglect. Her co-workers respected her. Her boss praised her work. And each evening, she returned to the mansion feeling a little stronger than the day before. Daniel never crossed any boundaries. He gave her space, treated her like a friend, and encouraged her independence. Weeks turned into months. One evening, as they sat in the garden watching the sunset, Daniel spoke softly. Maya, can I tell you something? She nodded. I didn't just search for you out of gratitude, he admitted. I searched for you because you were the first person who made me feel seen and valued. Her heart beat faster. And somewhere along the way, he continued, I realized I had fallen in love with the memory of you. Maya's eyes filled with tears again, but this time, they were tears of warmth, not pain. Daniel. She whispered, I'm still healing. He smiled. Then I'll wait. As long as it takes. Just when Maya's life began to feel peaceful, the past returned. One afternoon, Armand showed up at the company building. He looked shocked when he saw her walking out of a luxury car. Maya, he said, confused. What's going on? She stood tall. I work here. His eyes widened. This is Daniel Rahman's company. Don't tell me. Before he could finish, Daniel walked out of the building. Armand's face turned pale. You're with him. Daniel's voice was calm. She's not with anyone. She's rebuilding her life. Armand suddenly looked regretful. Maya, I made a mistake. I want you back. Maya's heart didn't move. Not even a little. You didn't make a mistake, she said quietly. You made a choice. Armand's shoulders dropped. He realized he had truly lost her. As he walked away, Maya felt something lift off her chest. For the first time, she was free from the past. Months later, Maya stood in the same garden where Daniel had once confessed his feelings. But this time, she was the one speaking. "Daniel," she said softly, "you waited for me when I was broken. You helped me find myself again." He looked at her, surprised. "And now," she continued, her eyes shining, "I'm ready to choose you." Daniel's face lit up with joy. Under the golden sunset, he gently took her hand. Their love didn't start with passion or wealth. It started with kindness, patience, and respect. And sometimes, that kind of love is the most powerful of all.